Don't know what's happening.
We're live.
We are live.
Or is it a memory? Dom, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, thank you, Dr. Kiltz. How are you?
I am fantastic. Another beautiful day in paradise. And I'm in Syracuse. I'll be in Boston Saturday, but I think I'll be there tomorrow night. Are you in Boston yet, doctor, or not?
I'm traveling tomorrow. I'll be here in the morning for the live. I have time for that. And then from there, leave to the airport.
Are we having dinner tomorrow night? Are you going to be there for dinner?
We are having dinner tomorrow night.
We'll be there for dinner. Adam Lacey arrives in Boston almost at the same minute I do at the airport. And we're all staying in the same hotel. So we are getting a group together to go have dinner.
Can you get me a room at the hotel?
I'll get you a room. Yes.
How far is it from the airport? Close to the airport?
Minutes. 15 minutes.
So
when you're doing event coordination.
The airport is 4 miles from the hotel. 4 miles.
Perfect.
There is a city shuttle. So
great. All right.
All right.
Why don't you hit it here, Dr. Nelson? Why don't you get going here?
Good morning, everyone. It's the 26th of June, 2025. This is Kiltz Health Morning Live. And as you heard, I'm in Central Florida. Dr. Kiltz is today where? In New York?
I'm in Syracuse today.
And Alia, it's coming from down south.
If I found my passport, they got lost yesterday. I had it, so
maybe she won't make it to Boston. I don't know. And today we have Dom with us. Please, if you have any questions, put them in the chat, QQQ, so we can identify them quicker. Tell us where you're from.
Hashtag Dom for a chance to actually get into the coaching course. That was Dr. Kiltz's idea. Somebody wins a coaching course today.
All right.
Hashtag Dom.
All right. Take it away, Dom.
Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be here this morning. Dr. Kiltz was one of my favorite people that I found about 2 years ago when I started my journey, and some others when I started my carnivore trip. I'm here in Central Florida as well, on the East Coast, Cape Canaveral, close to Dr. Nelson, and I'm happy to be here with you this morning.
Tell us a little about yourself and how you got into this carnivore crazy space.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm 53, and I've been a carnivore for almost 2 years now. What happened was that I was pretty much in a bad shape. I was overweight, borderline obese, 240 pounds and rising at my 6'2". And I had a host of issues from rheumatoid arthritis, back pain, skin rosacea, generally pretty bad shape. So one evening I was flying back from a business trip from Calgary, and I was looking at some of the selfies I had taken that day, and I really wasn't liking what I was seeing. I went back, looked at some of my more recent photos, and I paid for Wi-Fi on the plane, and I started looking at YouTube, and I stumbled upon Dr. Sean Baker, and I spent about 4 hours of that flight just learning about carnivore and thinking, yeah, I can do that. I was never much of a fruit and vegetable guy, but I was very heavy into carbs, which was kind of reflecting my weight and stuff. And so let me try this. So I came home. I told my wife and my mom, "Hey, here's what I'm doing." And of course, they told me I was crazy. You will miss fiber. You don't have vitamin C and the usual stuff, I said, no. Listen, from what I've seen, that's not the case, and I think I'm going to be fine. And I have been fine. So it was just an amazing trip. The first 4 months were like a miracle. I dropped like 60 pounds in those 4 months. I dropped 20 pounds first month, 20 pounds second month, 10 pounds, and then 10 pounds. And I dropped down to about 180 pounds. And then I said, okay, I'm a little bit skinny now. I need to start. I was following the, eat when hungry and stop when full. And I figured out I had to start stuffing myself and, determine the quantities of meat that work for me. And that's when I stopped losing weight and I stopped gaining muscle back. Muscle. I started gaining muscle. I was following my body composition at that point. And now I'm around 200 pounds weight for the last year or so. I lift weights 4 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week. Now, the part of the miraculous journey is that my back pain that I've had for decades just went away. And it was so bad. My lower back was so bad that when I was driving, I would sometimes have to put the fist underneath my lower back to kind of just like try to help it a little bit. Upper back was also bad. And then my ankles were almost like right hand I couldn't lift anything heavier than like 20 pounds at that point. And all of that cleared within like weeks. I deadlift 350 pounds now, and three sets of 5, which is something I just thought that I would never be able to do. Skin cleared up. I mean, the whole thing has just been amazing, and I've been sticking with it, and I can intend to stick with it.
That is very good. How long did it take you once you went carnivore to get rid of your back pain? When did you notice?
I noticed first changes after a month. In the first month, there was I noticed that it hurts less, and 3 months in, it was almost completely clear. And joint pain was actually gone sooner than that. Especially the right hand, I noticed that that's gone. And I know a lot of people say that that's kind of because you lose weight. I don't necessarily think so, because most of my issues resolved before I've lost significant amounts of weight.
Yeah, most doctors will first go there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you lost weight. That's why you're better.
Yeah.
But the reality is, you stop putting all.
Well, I think
what do we stop putting, Dr. Kiltz, in our body?
Plants. Plants are poisonous. When you eat meat, you do get carbohydrates. That's the craziness, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But so how difficult has this been, Dom?
Well, the first month was rocky, and I wish I'd kind of stumbled across some of the advice of some of the people like Professor Bart Kay that said that you should really ease it in, because I went cold turkey. I did 24-hour fast, and then I started with my eggs and beef routine. And the first month, of course, the adjustment, it's the getting a rotation of diarrhea and constipation and various abdominal pains during the first month. I was a little bit concerned, but I trusted trusted the process. I just read that people go through that, and so after that, it's been amazing. After that, the first month, everything cleared up, body readjusted. I know it takes more time than that, but the most acute symptoms were gone after almost a couple of weeks only.
Do you think that this is a sustainable lifestyle for yourself as a carnivore?
I absolutely do, and I've been noticing that. 2 years when I started, it was not really known, and it was really weird, in restaurants and everything. But now I'm noticing that, when I order my meal, a lot of waiters says, "Oh, are you doing carnivore? Oh, I know this other guy who's doing carnivore has lost a ton of weight," and it's kind of becoming easier and easier. But it's still very difficult in social settings, in restaurants, to avoid seed oils. it's extremely hard. I was sailing Caribbean last week, and that's very hard. That's, over there to be on the boat with 9 other people, and so those situations are tough to manage. But at home, it's fully sustainable. I just get my 2 pounds of beef and 6 eggs every morning, and then lots of butter and tallow on that. And I don't think it works great. I don't think I have any deficiencies of anything. And people say you'll get scurvy. I mean, I think that's just not what's happening. That's not what we're seeing.
Dr. Nelson, is fiber a requirement for human body?
We have an absolute fiber requirement of 0. Goose eggs.
Is it possible that fiber actually damages our body?
Scrubs the insides. I always visualize it that way. You have a brush going down your intestine, just causing damage. Not everybody gets GI symptoms from fiber, but almost everyone that has the people that I see with especially inflammatory bowel disease, very often they'll say, "Oh, when I try high fiber, it actually makes me worse."
And I think, oh my gosh, the Australian guy, he'll come to me. I see his face.
Paul Mason.
Paul Mason, thank you. It's an M. He did a really nice presentation on that, and I think in our book there's a graph on that basically it is not working in our favor, and more symptoms with it. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. What do you think, Dom?
No, absolutely. I mean, I know that one of the treatments for people who have like inflamed bowels is to put them on no fiber, 0 fiber diets. And I know that there have been studies in various groups of people that some were put on high fiber diet, someone's low fiber, and some on no fiber, and those with the no fiber diet actually fared the best, in terms of their symptoms. So my case as well, I think, my digestions had improved immensely. I was bloated. I was, I had messy stools, and then all of that got fixed. I mean, I don't think we need fiber. I think that, that there are animals out there that eat no fiber and they're fine. And we are also designed to not eat fiber. And I know as Dr. Paul Mason is saying, I think that's true. And also I watched an amazing presentation. I don't remember the name of the gentleman, but he talked about paleontological origins of our diet, and that was on the low carb down under, and how we evolved over millions of years, and how really slow the evolution is, and that we've spent most of our evolution as just purely eating meat and only eating some rooty vegetables when we didn't have meat, and that's absolutely anthropologically appropriate for us.
What are we doing on questions there, Dr.
We got
Nelson?
some questions.
Let's get them moving forward, Alia. Thank you.
Sure. Will Dom be attending Mitch's meetup on Wednesday, 2nd of July in Melbourne, Florida? Sounds like he lives very close.
So I actually live in Melbourne, so and I wasn't aware of this meetup. So if we can hook up, that'd be great.
I will be there.
We're gonna be at the Estampa Gaucha in Melbourne at 11:30 in the morning. Estampa Gaucha.
Yeah, that's in Melbourne Mall.
We should RSVP.
Yes.
So let's make sure we get that out there on our website and invite people there. Open it up so we can see our brothers and sisters. Get out there and help support Mitch. And don't forget, everyone, you gotta download and buy Mitch's book, and bring a copy of the book. Mitch is going to sign it.
Awesome.
It's a book signing event.
Maybe put it in front
A
of your
book
face.
signing event.
Yeah.
All right. Let's put a link to the book on the website and also to the meetup. And that so people have to, do we just show up or should we buy?
No, we can just show up. It's usually empty at that time.
All
It
right.
gets
Just show
filled
up
up with
and you're
us.
paying
But
your own meal.
Let's give them a call, see how many seats they have, and we can invite a bunch of people. Come on, let's pack it up.
Let's back it
oh,
up.
they have
Awesome.
hundreds.
All right.
Oh, wow.
That's what I
Awesome.
love. Love it.
All right. So somebody say what's the hashtag? It's hashtag Dom. Not Don. Dom.
Hashtag DOM.
Yeah.
DOM. And for my Kiltz Mighty Tribe, hashtag DOM. And if I win, then I'll select someone from the KMT. Tell me a little bit about the value of the community, Dom. What have you found in this community that's been valuable?
Well, I think it's absolutely great for support because, we are still, even though the carnivore movement's growing, obviously, we are still kind of more like unicorns. So knowing that there are a lot of people out there like yourself is really keeping you going, and then the other thing is just sharing the experiences and seeing what others are going through. Seeing the other healing stories really is that what motivated me most, to go with it and to stick with it. In addition to that, obviously, it's very good to have people like you and people like Dr. Shafi and people like Dr. Baker, that are part of this community and really, drive the narrative from the medical angle, give it a lot of credibility in that way. Because they always go with like, oh, doctor said this and nutritionist said, well, hey, hang on, not all of them. There's a lot of them that don't say that. There's the whole, I like watching the low carb down under podcasts on YouTube as well. There's many doctors there as well, and it's really growing. And I hope we managed to overcome the, kind of shackles that were put upon humanity by the food industry and pharmaceutical industry.
We're recognizing through social media and experts like yourself, Dr. Nelson, Alia, and everyone we have here that's joining us on all our platforms are sharing a story of their healing through proper human diet, species specific, eating fatty meat. And the medical community, we're there to continue to help inspire those that are in the standard side to come over and let's get to the hospitals, the long-term care facilities, acute facilities, and share keto concepts, carnivore concepts, and inspire more people to come on board. That's why I really want us to call the Gaucho place in Melbourne. But let's put a link. Let's get some people there, Alia. Let's really share this, because this is wherever we're going. We want to invite people to come to the community and share this. And if we're going to be there, we need to be, helping more people get part of that. Absolutely.
Good. I will get some posts up. We'll do some social media. We'll get it on the website. It's being worked out. The cricket seems to have left my office, by the way, everybody.
The what?
Apparently everyone says they can hear a cricket. It's coming from my office somewhere. So apparently
I thought it was here.
That's what's so funny is everybody can hear it. Okay, Dom, what is the list of what I wish I knew sooner for when you started out on carnivore?
Well, I guess it's the importance of having enough fat in your diet and the eating fatty cuts, because I think initially I was kind of overdoing on protein, and that was starting to show up. But I think just the importance of having good, solid amounts of fat with your diet. I think that's one of the key things that I would have as a takeaway to everybody. Second thing is, as I said, I wish I'd kind of eased into it maybe, but that's kind of hard to me because for me, it's easier to understand, know something than to try to maybe to manage quantities of bread or pasta or pizza that I was eating. So I think for me personally, maybe that the cold turkey approach was the best.
Which I mean, we're lions. It's kind of like what you should do: ease out of alcohol or heroin. No, cold turkey. Get rid of it. Done.
Yeah.
And is there ever a requirement for fruit, fiber, vegetable?
Yeah.
Zero. Oh my God, it's too hard if you go cold turkey. I mean, are we born for easy or born for hard?
We're born for hard.
We're born for hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and there's something else I want to share with you as well. I mean, from in my family also, families not doing that, but I have an 11-year-old son who at that point was suffering from daily headaches for about 2 years. And he had very bad car sickness episodes. And so when he did his blood test, we noticed some autoimmune markers there. And that was the point. I was like maybe 3 months into carnivore at that point. And I told my wife, we have to put Colin on a carnivore diet and see what happens. Like headaches, we went to neurologists, we went to every possible doctor, did MRI, did CT, nothing was showing up. Anyway, so he went on carnivore and his headaches cleared within days. And it was so bad that he was on Tylenol almost every day. He would come back from school, mommy, my head hurts, and you have to give child carnivore. And our doctor, the neurologist, said, oh, if Tylenol is helping, that's great. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Tylenol destroys your gut. Like you're taking it every day. You're an 11-year-old child. I mean, for God's sake. So he became completely free of headaches within like days.
Wow.
And he stopped being car sick. And we were on a boat previous years as well. He was very seasick. We were just on a boat last week and he wasn't seasick at all. We went through some relatively rough weather. And so, yeah, it was funny. He was going to school as a kid, and kids bring their lunch boxes, and there's like a bag of crisps there, and I don't know what not, and a granola bar and all that. And he was showing up. I was dehydrating steaks for him and packing them in Ziploc bags, and he showed up with the dehydrated steaks and was eating there. And the kids were like, "What's that?" And he was like, "It's none of your business. It's doing me good." So he's been obviously as a kid. It's kind of hard to maintain that. So he's more like keto, but he's completely free of the symptoms that she had, unless, and this is where it comes, where it really shows that that's really the reason that all these Sprites and the things that we give to kids like cupcakes and stuff. If he has a birthday, obviously he's going to go out, and he's going to have some, and the next day he will get his headache, But he's learned that this is what's doing it. I'm going to have a little bit of what he sees as pleasure, from time to time, but he's sticking to it. And I'm really happy that, we were able to help him, even more than I'm happy for myself, But it's really hard to watch your kids suffer, And I have two older kids who, my son plays for our local high school varsity team. He's pretty big. He's a center. And, but I wish him to be leaner a little bit. And so he might be trying it in near future. He's saying, I think the best examples we're setting is not by talking, because I preached this to my family to the point that they were like pissed off with me. But when they see after a while that, hey, Dad's doing great, Dad looks better than ever, then they, and everybody sees this as an example, and people who are skeptical initially were like, well, you're 2 years on that now. You're still not dead, and you look better than ever. And I don't know, Alia, I sent you some photos.
Oh, yeah, let me get those.
You want to flash them for people to see what I was like?
Sure, let me do that and flash them. Can you let people know what your accent is? Like some people.
Yeah, sure. So I was born in Croatia back in 1971, and I lived, half of my life there before I moved to Ireland and Middle East and finally US. So yeah, it's Croatia, it's Eastern Europe. Because I left, I was 29, I was never able to shake it off. So it's always going to stick with me.
curiosity, you besides your native language and English, do you speak any other languages?
I couldn't have a conversation. I can bluff my way through some of French and German, but
Okay.
not conversation ready.
Awesome.
I'm going to share
Awesome.
this picture.
How we do? What are questions? Let's get some
We got
questions.
some more questions, but Dom wanted me to show a picture. If I can pop it up here, let's see. Here we go. Did it work? Did it work? Here we go. Here's some pictures. Different person. Look at this.
Wow,
Look at
really
this.
bad.
Different person. That's what the carbs do. Or what do we say? The plants. That's what the plants do. Right,
Yeah.
Dr. Kiltz?
Plants are poisonous, simple and easy. There's no antioxidants in plants. There's no pro-nutrients in plants. Simply poison, period.
Micronutrients. John J. Connellan asks, I eat fat and red meat and I lost interest in all other foods. Asthma seems to be gone and I do not take any medicine. Other minor conditions seem to be gone, like peeling skin and hand aches. And then he says, is this normal? Is that normal? I'm curious if the getting better is normal or the only wanting to eat red meat is normal.
Yeah, well, that's not normal in the sense of the norm of the world, but that's normal according to our ancient evolutionary anthropologic
Exactly.
history, right?
Here's another normal question. Is it normal? Bacon baby. Can blood sugar be falsely high on a carnivore diet? Falsely
Don't
high?
know exactly what they mean, but no. Glucose measuring tests are fairly accurate. Even a CGM will be, have a 10 to 15% variability, but testing is fairly accurate. So you measure blood glucose, usually that's what it is, plus
In your
or
face.
minus. That's Dexcom 7. It's fairly accurate. Like I said, they may have 10 to 15% variability, but it's fairly accurate. So now, if you're asking about this rising A1C that some carnivores may have, that might have to do with too much protein.
Low fat diet. I would say, because when you eat animals or you eat plants, the cells of those organisms come with amino acids, proteins, simple sugars, glycans, and fatty acids, all of it. And so I think really we typically are eating a low animal fat diet, maybe our single biggest problem. Maybe.
But I think also that protein converts to glucose. Excess protein converts to glucose, right? So if you're eating too much protein, too little fat, you might get higher than normal glucose. And also, depending on which part of your journey you're at, we store fat in our livers, right? And when that's being released, that can result in...
We make fat in the liver.
Yeah.
Remember, the liver's job is to make fat out of amino acids and simple sugars via insulin. So if you ate only fat, you do not store fat in the liver. You store it everywhere else.
Yeah.
Because a polar bear seeks out ring seals for their high fat content so the polar bear can get fat and survive migration, hibernation, gestation. And basically, it's hard to find a ring seal in the summertime.
Mm. Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents. What are we doing in Boston on Saturday, Dr. Nelson?
We're having a great lineup of people. We're going to spend the whole day there with whoever comes. We're having a meetup, and we're almost sold out, right, Alia?
Yeah, there's like about 10 tickets left. So
all
if you
right,
want
so
to come,
let's
let's get those
out.
done.
Let's sell it out. if you buy a ticket through, we should put a link through this, and you get a free membership in KMT.
Yes, you get a free KMT
There you go.
membership when you go to get your
Go to
ticket. I love that.
25, buy a ticket. We need your support. Who's going to be there? We got.
I'm going to tell you right
who's the
now.
lineup? Who's that lineup up there?
Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Nelson, Dr. Boz, Professor Thomas Seyfried, Dr. Heather Stone,
Amy Perrin,
Diane Ladd.
Be in the pictures. Get Amy up there.
Yes,
right?
yes.
We need Amy to tell her story. We need everyone to tell their story. I think this is really, really important, because the only way we're going to do this is we gotta have our signs. How many people here have seen the movie Animal?
There we go.
Did we get Amy in there?
No, we
Get
will.
Amy in there.
Yes.
Just get her in there. Come on, she's
By the way,
support of ours.
if you want to see Amy sooner than Saturday, tune in at 3 p.m. with Dr. Nelson in Dr. Kiltz Health channels, and she'll be our guest this afternoon.
Oh, nice.
Yay.
Yeah, let's get her there. And let's really we want to highlight and get everyone showing up. But one of my favorite, Dr. Boz, Dr. Seyfried, Thomas Seyfried is amazing in what he's done with cancer therapy, integrating Eastern and Western medicine and a keto carnivore diet. Bam. Amazing. Betty Milson, I'm doing a little coffee the last few days.
Oh no!
I'm not losing sleep.
Wait till I see Dr. Whitterman.
Oh yeah.
Oh no! She's gonna have some words to say.
You know what? Time to time, not all the time.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Every day. But again, it's up to each and every one of us to find their place of where and what they want to do. Critical. Cool.
Lewis wants to know who's ready for some hugs in Boston.
Always. Kiltz, we're huggers.
We are huggers.
We're huggers. We're meat huggers, right?
We're not tree huggers. We're meat huggers.
We're meat huggers, right? What's your favorite cut of meat, Dom?
Oh, definitely ribeye. I love ribeye. I have 5 grills outside here in my back patio. My wife says she's divorced me if I buy another one, but I have a Schrank grill. I have a small, and my favorite steaks are cooked on the small Kamado Joe, where I just flame them and just eat them like blue with a Pittsburgh style.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh style. But then daily food really is burgers. It's
I'm sure you could see my black and blue ribeye that we had cooked for us at the Century Club here in Syracuse, and you could see the raw fat. It's cold on the inside. It's nice Pittsburgh on the outside. I think they basically took a torch to it and said, "Yeah,
great." Looks great. My favorite cut, yeah.
I have to get one of those, a torch. Dr. Kiltz, do you eat filet mignon often?
Not often, but sometimes I will. When I go to Hyde Park in Sarasota, they have a bone-in filet that they black and blue for me, and I take a ton of butter and I put it on the plate and some Malden or sea salt, and bam, it's like so amazing.
So lean. You do need butter with it.
Yeah.
And I wonder, because everybody you ask, at least I guess in this community, their favorite cut of steak is ribeye, right? But the filet mignon, it's so much more expensive. You get a 6 to 8 ounce at the most, usually, for not even comparable prices. The ribeye, I think, is the top notch of all the cuts.
all the cuts, right?
Yeah.
Love it.
There's a question here. Dom, from Cam's dad, how did you figure out what was right or wrong in carnivore to follow? Took me a minute. How did you figure out who is right or wrong in carnivore to follow?
I think I don't think there's right and wrong. I think there's things that work for people, and then there's various flavors within carnivore community, and some tend more towards keto. And I respect them all. I respect Dr. Westman as well, as much as I respect Dr. Shafi, who's on the very just chuck meat and water and salt, and Dr. Westman more keto. I think people need to find what's working for them. Well, for some people have such organisms where bodies where they do need to go on lion diets like Michaela Pearson, and then some people can tolerate some amounts of vegetables, if they really like the taste, or they don't really. I know we don't need them, but it's so I tend to be towards this more carnivore-ish end of things, and then like that more than keto, but more like dirty carnivore. I do have some cheese from time to time. Well, I have cheese. Actually, I have cheddar cheese on burgers most of the time, to be honest.
Yeah. Love it.
I have an update about the Melbourne meetup.
Oh.
And both Mike Seeley and Mitch are here in the chat, and you can ask them directly, but they're telling me do not call the restaurant. Email oldguycarnivore@gmail.com, Mitch. Email oldguycarnivore@gmail.com, and he'll put you on the list. And basically, Mike Seeley is organizing this. You can ask his United Carnivore in the chat.
Let's put a link on our website, and let's put a link in the chat directly to Mike Seeley and Old Guy Carnivore, so people can just get that direct link and say, I want to come. That'll be great. Love it.
Okay, good. Mitch?
Again, these meetups, I think, are critical for all of us so we can meet like-minded people. And you're carnivore curious, you're not a carnivore, come, listen, and learn. I think this is really important for all of us to get a chance to meet people. So these aren't limited gatherings; they're limitless, and that's really important. And and Mitch is one of our leaders. Mike Selly, one of our leaders. Dr. Nelson, one of our leaders. And I think we're inviting everyone to be a leader. Everyone
needs to be a leader. Don Smith has a question. I haven't heard anyone mention beef tongue. Does anyone eat it and know how it's prepared? I've eaten beef tongue.
It's delicious.
2 hours in the Instapot. You take off the taste buds and then you fry it up. The inside, you don't eat the taste buds. It's like sandpaper.
Do you skin that before you put it to cook or after?
You have to put it in the Instapot so then you can take off the taste buds. You have to get so it can be separated.
Black and blue. Black and blue.
I've seen it all the time. Yesterday I just saw it, as a matter of fact. I've never had it. But for some reason now it's almost $10 a pound.
Oh, interesting. Used to be cheaper.
You can also smoke it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Low and slow is the key.
Low and slow.
Whichever method.
Teresa Corso Unter would like to know if there is a meetup in Syracuse. And yes, there is. It is going to be on September 27th at the Destiny Mall.
And you could go get tickets right now on our website.
Yep.
Dr. Kiltz, Kiltz Health, and also just go to kiltzmeetup.com.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's right.
Nice.
Here we go. Because Dr. Nelson's playing with this Syracuse meetup, September 27th. There you go. Get your tickets.
And let's make sure we get the 26 events coming up. And let's also get other events that are keto carnivore that we may not be going to yet, but let's get a place that people could find out what's going on in the keto carnivore world around the world.
Sure.
That'd be really awesome.
I'll start working on that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Carnivore Crowd would like to know what the best beef organ to eat? What is the best beef organ to eat?
Dom, what's your favorite?
Well, it must be heart and liver, both heart and liver, and obviously, especially liver in limited quantities. I order from Red Provisions, which is a regenerative farm over in Oklahoma, and they got this beautiful paleo mix, which is 75-25 high fat that I like, and you got 10% of heart and liver, so that's my almost daily staple. And hearts I can buy. I sometimes buy a heart, and then I have a dehydrator and make jerky. So I just pack it in Ziploc bags.
Okay, heart jerky. That
heart jerky. I found that to be the best. I tried London broil. I tried all sorts of things, but hearts for me is the kind of like the finest piece of jerky. Just with salt, sometimes pepper.
Nice. I'm going to see. Do we have any other questions? I want to say one more time, hashtag Dom, DOM, to get into the chat and to get into the giveaway and potentially win a Kiltz Health Coaching course. And get your beef liver from Dr. Kiltz.
Is that the organ supplement, Dr. Kiltz?
This is the organ. So if you don't want to eat the organs, get the organ meat supplements or the liver supplements. If you look at the book by Schlenk, 1946, Eat Meat 3 times a day, simply eating meat and organ meats will make you healthier, even if you insist, I need plants, which actually you have no requirement for them. And what I tell people is, I do better on plants, but it's because they're brainwashing you to eat them because they are the controllers of the world. I was walking on East Lake Road in Skaneateles, and I was noticing the plants coming through the asphalt, literally lifting the asphalt up and separating it. The plants control the planet.
I have a question from Instagram, which I don't know if it showed up on our feed.
It doesn't.
The quality of fish, in parentheses salmon, seems to have deteriorated startlingly and quickly, and is very expensive. By the way, that's from Michelle. Do any of you eat much fish? What fish, and do we actually need it? I am in Sydney. It was a pleasure, I think, to meet Dr. Kiltz. I guess she met you in April in Melbourne, Australia. Before Dr. Kiltz answers that, I love fish. I had salmon yesterday. I also eat sardines. I know Dr. Kiltz is not too fond of fish.
So I don't eat fish of any significance or frequency. I will have some oysters, sometimes some lobster. That's about it, but not frequently. Seatopia, Seatopia, they were at the animal showing a premiere, and I was looking them up. Seatopia, Seatopia, which is doing farming of fish in, I think, either Argentina, Peru, or somewhere down Chile. And I thought it was very interesting. Essentially, I always say, fish stinks, but I do some sashimi from time to time.
What I had yesterday was sashimi, and salmon sashimi or tuna sashimi. Sometimes I do have, and they do not. Is the rule of thumb to me is most of the fish that might actually smell fishy, something might be going on, because usually salmon and tuna sashimi do not smell.
Well, but fish in general doesn't last as long as steak, as beef. Beef.
That's why if it smells fishy to me, I might not eat it.
Yeah. So, but beef, I mean, dry aged beef, for months. Now, technically, you can dry out fish also, but it still stinks. It's something. How do
Well,
people
you salt it. That
that salt? That's the one important thing about our diets. Add more salt, add more fat. You'll be healthier than ever. That's the real trick of this story. But yeah, I just don't a lot. Chicken, fish, turkey. I don't touch very frequently. I'm not telling you not to do it, but I don't know, Dom. What's your thoughts on those foods?
Well, I used to love chicken. I don't love it anymore. I used to eat a lot of smoked pork. I don't love it anymore either. It's just I don't. I've gotten kind of some disuse from the taste. Fish, I will have salmon such from time to time, but it's infrequent with a lot of fat because it's very heavy. Well, what I like is a sockeye salmon. It's wild caught, and but that's once in a few weeks, really. Uh, is it useful? I believe you get probably some more magnesium from it than you would from meats. But you gotta really take care that you're buying wild fish, because stay away from farms, stay away from things like organic salmon. That's the worst. I mean, it's not the worst. It's just fed organic soy. I mean, it's nothing. Need to go for wild caught, definitely. And then just like you, also oysters sometimes, shallots sometimes, an odd lobster and shrimp. I mean, I'm in Florida, so I gotta eat shrimp.
Sea
I have a
lion.
question for Dr. Kiltz.
Well, carnivore can cause spotting cramp pains when you have been menopausal for 5 years. I always get that checked anyway, but for some people in menopause or early menopause, remember the plants are damaging the ovaries and the testicles that contribute to diminished ovarian and testicular function. By going carnivore, you may reduce and heal that. You may make some estrogen, which can cause some spotting. Always get that checked, though. You never want to take a chance that is just from that. Ultrasound, hysteroscopy, biopsy, potentially, but fatty meat, salt water is the healthy one. There was another one there on pregnancy.
Oh, let me
Yes,
find that.
yes. And
Here we go.
they wrote something about 16 months pregnant, but I think meant 16 weeks.
Yeah, probably. That's scary. Don't be 16 months.
It also was recommended that she should take 2 baby aspirin every day. Well, again, if aspirin reduces the inflammatory molecules that cause blood clots, strokes, prematurity, and all sorts of other problems. So there is a recommendation to use 81 milligrams, sometimes a little bit more. That may help with that. But carnivore, faith and fasting is one of the most important things you can do.
There we go. Let me check to see if there's any more questions. Remember, hashtag Dom. Where do we buy Malden salt?
I get it online, Amazon,
Online.
but
yeah.
Just go. Yeah, I mean, the world is Google it, right? Google it for sure. Do some carnivores, despite being carnivore, well, let's see, we're all carnivores, but for those that have converted over to the carnivore diet, can we still lose our gallbladder, Dr. Nelson?
Lots of people that don't have gallbladder eat this way, and the advice has always been, after you have your bladder, don't eat fat. So your body, your gallbladder is just a reservoir that pumps the bile on demand. Okay, if you think about the basic function of it, is very, very simple. The bile is produced by the liver, and the liver will produce the amount of bile that you need depending on what diet you are following. If you're having a lot of fat, your liver will get used to producing more bile. So it's not a problem. You might need to start ease into it if you're increasing your fat, and your body will adapt. It might take a few weeks or sometimes even a few months.
So what if you're struggling to lose weight? What's the best thing to do, Dom? What have you found that, I want to lose weight and it's not working on carnivore? What do you do?
Just eat a high-fat diet, really. You eat a lot of fat. Exercise helps, but I lost most of my weight before I went back to the gym.
Yeah. Well, does the human brain want you to be skinny?
So human brain wants you to keep some amount of fat on you. I don't know what's the appropriate percentage. I guess everybody's different, but it wants you to be lean. 10 to 15%, I think, is where we should be normally.
But if a bear does not gain 1,000 pounds before winter, it's dead. Can you imagine gaining 1,000 pounds before winter?
No.
So maybe we've got it mostly wrong. The fat on your body is not the cause of disease. It's your mental dysfunction, secondary to plants, which are telling you, I've got to be skinny, and they're telling you, you're dumb.
I think subcutaneous fat is kind of normal, and the problem is when we get too much visceral fat.
Visceral fat is not harmful for our bodies.
No?
No way. Why would your body make anything harmful for your body?
If it's exposed to improper diet, maybe?
Well, but the fat didn't cause any problems. Fat is made and stored so you could survive migration, hibernation, gestation, and famines. That is it. It might be, we're going to look at it and say, oh, you have too much fat, but you could live 1 year. There have been history of 1 year of living without food.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only because you deposited fat everywhere, including the viscera. The human body is masterful. And so again, we've made up some stories that I think are wrong. But it's just me, right, Dr. Nelson?
It's not only you, but
Dr. Kiltz, you brought up that the girls that are trying to get pregnant that have a little bit more fat on their bodies have an easier time of getting pregnant.
Well, I don't care what size you are. In 2 weeks of fasting and carnivore, you'll feel so much better.
That's
and
right.
For those people that are walking around with an extra 300 pounds, you put 300 pounds on your body and walk around. They are way stronger than you and I are. We are completely judgmental, negative against fat and obesity. Judge not lest ye be judged. And then we have a negative concept of our own bodies. That's negative energy. It's not good.
That's right. Dr. Kiltz always gives us something to think about. True. I keep pulling up this question. What about chicken gizzards? I don't know what you want to say about that.
Well,
or
that's
anyone wants to say.
I mean, what animal is going to kill the chicken and leave the gizzards for like the lizards?
Yeah, it's true.
By the way, it's an organ meat. I grew up on chicken gizzards. My mother cooked them all the time. They taste good.
Fat eaten is the healthiest thing you could consume, but rendered fat is not the same as raw fat, raw meat. And this is really radical concept and idea that we're really recognizing that fatty, raw to rare meat is the healthiest thing to eat. And obesity causes no disease. It's the plant protein, low-fat diet and 3 to 6 healthy meals a day which cause disease and our negative thoughts of the thing.
That's right.
So how come carnivores, and people go carnivore, they all lose a lot of fat and we become more like tiger and less like a hippo?
Okay, not all carnivore. No, so it is definitely leans us out compared to what we were potentially, but not always. Not always. And it's because our mindset becomes stronger. We're able to suddenly say, you know what? I'm good. And I think our whole character changes on a carnivore diet, but it's just because that's our natural progression, that eating fatty meat satiates us. We're consuming less calories of that than we used to.
Dawn has a question. Doesn't visceral fat hold on to the poisons our body doesn't know what to do with?
No way. What organ is a detoxifier in our body?
The liver.
The liver. So when you stop eating the poisonous plants, all the quote toxins go away. I mean, if you're storing cyanide, you'll be dead. Lead, you'll be dead. But the fat, I think we've misaligned and misrepresented adipose tissue. Like, we typically say it's bad for you, don't we?
Yeah, I thought so.
That's correct. But a polar bear that doesn't get fat is effed, right?
Right.
So what thing does your body make that's bad for you? Nothing. Nothing. Bacteria, yeast, viruses, and the plant chemicals and antigens and the fermentation of plants in your gut are the cause of all disease. And then, but mostly it's our propaganda that we've been programmed with that has taught you that you're unhealthy. I'm fat, I'm unhealthy. Walk around with those thoughts all the time.
Right.
Messaging. Even the carnivore world wants to sell us something. And I'm not taking us away from that either. We're selling courses and supplements and shirts and hats. But I figure if we don't make a little money on this.
That's right.
They make you fat.
All right, we have. I want to say, so we have almost 200 people watching. I would love everyone to get a chance to get into the giveaway. Hashtag DOM. Hashtag Dom. Do that right now while we answer this last question. Thoughts, doctors, about not having an appendix on the carnivore diet? Thanks.
Easy. You know, the appendix is removed because of a low-fat, plant-based diet, and you do not need a gallbladder or a appendix in order to be carnivore.
I had mine removed when I was 5.
Which is secondary to plant protein, low-fat diet. That's all it is. And the microbes, the bacteria, yeast, and viruses in our gut are the cause of most disease.
Lots of questions about chicken gizzards. By the way, don't eat them raw. You might break a tooth. It's a very hard. It's a stomach muscle that crushes little stones and things that the chicken eats. So it's a very tough. That's why it's best done on a pressure cooker or slow and low. And that's why some people cut it in half. It makes it easier to
mince it
at the end.
Mince it up and throw it in some grease for a few minutes, and then, or less, saute it up and eat it.
Delicious.
So what do you do after you've eaten meat and you're tired, Dr. Nelson?
Take a nap.
Take a nap. Oh my God. People are like, I'm tired. What other animal says I'm tired? Give me some caffeine, right?
The human animal. Okay, here we go, everybody. You had your opportunity. Who's gonna win today? Drum roll. Cat Lady, congratulations. Please
all right,
email
Cat
me.
Lady.
Yay, Cat Lady. Email me, alia@drkiltz.com. You are going to do the first round of the coaching course with Kiltz Health coaching course with Dr. Nelson. Congrats.
alia@drkiltz.com. And let's get all of the people that are going to be there Saturday. Really, it's going to be a great event in Boston.
Oh my God, it'll be awesome.
You got to be there. So amazing. You're going to meet so many amazing of our brothers and sisters who are sharing the story. Your story is critical, and healing humanity is sharing a story. And don't forget to get to the animal movie, because the last I looked, Dr. Nelson is a
Animal.
Animal. Alia, animal. All right. Eat the meat, be the master. And the cause of disease.
Plants and low-fat diet.
Plants, low fat, plant-based, and negative thinking. Don't do it. Where can people find you, Dom? Oh,
Dom, where can we find you? Are you making videos by any chance? Sharing your story in your channel?
No, I'm just way too busy with work, kids, and everything else.
Okay.
So I've not been doing that. I do have some followers on Twitter. You can find me there. That's the only place really.
What's your Twitter handle? What's your ex name?
It's Dom Morgan FL, like in Florida.
nice. Cool.
All right, everybody. It's been a pleasure. See y'all later. See you on Monday.
All right, everyone.
At 3 p.m. today, Amy pairing with us, okay?
Okay.
3 p.m. today, tomorrow morning at 5. Who's on tomorrow? 6. Who's on tomorrow morning?
So I'm going
Adrian,
to be on a plane. You and
Who's on
Dr.
tomorrow
Nelson and
morning?
Adrian.
Who's
You
on
and
tomorrow
Dr.
morning?
Adrian Gledhill.
All right. Good.
Okay,
And
everybody. See you later.
I'll be here as well.
Yeah.
All right. See y'all.
Bye.